When I posted a poll on which of 4 random topics I should make a video about, the dark horse that almost won the vote was cactus-themed characters. Since it only lost by a mere 3% to the cheerleader topic, I decided to listen to the demand. So co-host girl known as Judgment Meter, want to make a video about the mighty cactus?
You already pitched that idea to me.
We're recording now, just say something about cacti.
Oh. They're spiky, and once my sister fell into a bed of cactuses at a friend's house, and it really hurt.
For this video, we're talking about any characters in fiction that are cacti. They just have to be a sentient being that resembles or flat out is a cactus. The only other thing we ask of them is that they combine their cactusy nature with whatever else they do in life, whether it's fight, invent, or just stand around and do nothing like a typical cactus. And of course, joining me in this video is my co-host, Judgment Meter.
Oh, right. Oh, it's because this really mean cat scared her, and then she fell into the bed of cactuses, and she never went over to that house again.
Judgment Meter, just say hi.
Yo.
So we present to you our top 10 cactus-themed characters. Number 10, Poison Ivy's Cactus Man bodyguards from the episode House and Garden of Batman the Animated Series. For some of the biggest and buffest looking cacti on this list, they may also be the lamest. The Cactus Man makes a good impression early on, being an intimidating figure in the darkness as he steals, holds hostages, and poisons. He even threatens Bruce Wayne in his own car and tumbles out of the moving vehicle as if it's just a basic walk home for him. But once he starts fighting out in the open, we see his flaws. He is not prepared for smart fighters, having no resistances to his natural weaknesses. For example, he can be murdered with herbicides or just have his claw needles cut off with ease. Plus, this plant can get electrocuted, which is not what Pokemon logic has taught me. The bodyguard is part of Poison Ivy's grand plan to use human-like plant children to act as her cover-up family, pretending to have a reformed, non-criminal life. These kids turn into the Cactus Men after being alive for 3 days due to the short lifespan of the clones, allowing them to rob and pillage to Ivy's heart's content. Meanwhile, she grows new kids and the clones die out, refreshing the cycle as Ivy sits in the background. By the climax of the episode, Batman had to take on bunches of these guys, at least giving them strength in numbers. Though this episode gets rather horrifying before that when the pre-cactus babies begin to emerge from their plant vessels.
Look at all of her babies. Oh my god, she's a single mother.
Huh, I guess you're right, but the episode implies that she's partnered up with Harley Quinn at this point, so maybe Harley helps out off screen. Number 9, Cactus from Marvel Comics. Hey, we're talking about all the comic book themed entries early on this list. This guy gets right to the point with his gimmick. He's a cactus man bluntly named after what he is and what he does. He has the power of a cactus and the ability to camouflage himself as a cactus. When you cut off parts of his limbs, he just grows them back immediately, making him indestructible, unless you disintegrate him or something like that, but no one ever does, so he's okay.
What does he sound like?
What do you think he sounds like?
He just moans, and that's all people hear are moans and growling because they can't hear his sweet, soft voice from inside of his heart calling out and saying, "Be my friend! Why won't you love me?" Was that what you wanted to hear?
No, he just speaks in normal, complete sentences, though he is such a minor villain to the X-Men and the Avengers that I'm not sure if anyone remembers anything he's ever said. Number 8, Cactus Bouncer and Cactus Fighter, the Yu-Gi-Oh cards. When you want to discuss examples of any random type of character in fiction, turn to Yu-Gi-Oh and it likely has you covered. There are only 2 Cactus Yu-Gi-Oh cards, so it's uncertain if Konami just dropped this archetype right away or if they had some Cactus Man designs that they really wanted to use. Either way, they're here now, but they have no appearances on other cards or in the anime, so I just have to assume everything about their character based on these cards alone. I guess this guy here's a bouncer.
That is a stupid looking pumpkin.
No, this is a stupid looking pumpkin. I'm only kidding, pumpkin. I love you, it's all an act. Cactus Bouncer is simply a living peyote cactus.
Really? Is it edible?
Why do you want to eat it so much?
Because it looks like a gourd. I don't like that. You know what that looks like? The Mask.
Oh my god, he does look like the villain from The Mask when he puts on the mask. You're uncovering the secret lore right there. And then you have the generically named Cactus Fighter. How does he fight? Nobody knows.
First thing it goes for is your ankle. It's an ankle biter.
Number 7, Succulent Dis from OKKO. OKKO is a cartoon that's been suggested to me, but I never really got around to watching it outside of some clips. but when I was told there was a cactus villain who fought with the power of nu metal in an episode, I was all in. Not so much for the cactus, but for the generous amount of references to nu metal music. The cactus theme was a nice bonus though. The idea behind him is that he's a washed up villain from KO's mom's time, aka the generation that has passed. The show's creator Ian Jones-Cordy said when thinking of an outdated craze to theme this old villain around, he wanted to pick something that was popular from when he was a teen, so he went with that wave of nu metal music that came in the 90s and 2000s. Cordy compared this to when a cartoon from the 90s or early 2000s would have a disco-obsessed character as a representation for out of date. Johnny Bravo did have a lot of references to stars of the 70s now that I think about it. As for Succulent Dis's cactus theme, he was part of the now defunct Cactus crew in the past, so it's possible he had many cactus-based attacks in his youth, but now he can only do this attack where he summons many cacti spikes from the ground to be a nuisance. This relates to his nu metal theme, as he activates his power by chanting "Bloom, Cactus, Bloom" in the plaza. That's a reference to the gibberish chants in the song Freak on a Leash by nu metal pioneer band Korn. In fact, every other sentence he says references a different nu metal song. It's really cool. I'm not gonna play a game of point out each reference for the sake of time, but check out the episode to see if you can find them all. And to really drive this all home, Succulentus is voiced by Jonathan Davis, the lead singer of Korn, so I don't know how you can make this theme any more authentic. Number 6. Pokies from Mario. Pokies are interesting creatures, as they are mini ball-like cacti stacked on top of each other with a head that seems to control them all. I'm not sure how their anatomy works. When you knock out one of the middle cacti, Poki continues to function, just being one head shorter. Part of his torso is just taken out, and he still has that goofy smile on his face. Is the head just psychic and moves the rest of the cacti, or does he feel pain? Are those other cacti actually alive?
Plants can be sentient if they truly believe.
Pokies can do little to attack, usually just wiggling in a few different directions, so I'm not sure what their motive is. They seem like they're just going for a daily walk and get caught up in the Mario Crew's mission. Maybe they're benevolent.
Why are all the children afraid of me? I need hugs. Give me hugs. Give me hugs.
The real danger of the Pokie is like any other common enemy in Mario. When they touch you, you die, or just downgrade. It makes sense though, since cactus spikes hurt more than being lightly grazed by a mushroom man. Pokies are also fun to defeat, since you just keep hitting them and eventually they get brought down to your size.
He's faux. Oh my god, Yoshi's eating it! What the? It's like iron coated in there.
Number 5. A Mingo from Marvel vs. Capcom 2. He was a Capcom rep in Marvel vs. Capcom 2, but was never featured in a previous Capcom game, so his backstory and intended game remain a mystery. Was he supposed to get his own game? Was he a rejected Darkstalker? Regardless, we know he's a jolly cactus man whose power is cactus, and that's all he really needs to be a great character. He can turn his limbs into smaller cacti, vines, and other plant life, along with turning himself into this onion thing. Also, he can summon beanstalks whenever he feels like. He's just full of surprises. Everything he does creates a new, sometimes spiky plant. How can you not love this guy? His fingers and toes are smaller cacti. Speaking of smaller cacti, he can use little cactus kids to fight alongside him. Not sure how much he loves them considering he sends them to their death in battle, but don't they make the cutest noises? And when he puffs out his chest for blocking, he reveals these cactus spikes. I like to think that's his chest hair. As for his backstory, he wears a sombrero, he likes music. I mean, he's already proven his greatness with his fighting style, so you can give him your own backstory.
He looks like the sheriff in town who's gonna introduce you to everything and kick all the bad guys' butts.
Hold on to that run-on sentence. The 90s Marvel vs. Capcom 2 official website gave him a bio saying that he was on a journey to find the cause of a cursed wind that withers the plants and trees from his homeland. It was possibly caused by the final boss of the crossover. Either way, looks like we're good on his history now.
Oh, never mind.
Number 4. Togemon from Digimon. It's a cactus with boxing gloves. I'm glad it exists. Togemon is the upgraded version of Palmon, the plant-based vine-loving Digimon who is the partner of the haughty yet caring Mimi. Togemon gives you exactly what you expect. She sprays needles and she gives the foe the ol' 1-2 jab. It's not as cute and compact as Palamon, and it doesn't have the elegance or advanced techniques of its own upgrades Lilymon and Rosemon, but Togemon is the rough and tough fighter you can't help but root for. Her abilities are just more physical based than the rest of her forms, but what are some other flattering things that we can say about her aesthetics?
She has a tuft of hair, and she speaks like this.
Okay, maybe we should talk about what's on the inside instead. Togemon has a big heart and cares a lot about her partner Mimi.
But Mimi really wants a cute, Pokemon, a cute Digimon because she's cute. And she's confused, why isn't she cute? But when she Digivolves, then she's cute. She's like, oh, okay.
Mimi got over herself fast when she realized a giant kaiju cactus has its advantages when it's protecting you. Also friendship. Those are just the faults of early series Mimi.
Why do I have the prickliest Digimon of all? Maybe it's because I'm prickly inside, and I rub people the wrong way.
Alright, stop your slander. Enough with the bash on Mimi hour. Number 3, Cacnea and Cacturn from Pokemon. Being the first cactus family in Pokemon, Cacnea and Cacturn have some of my favorite design choices. I specifically enjoy its creepy yet friendly face and its headwear to imitate the actual plant life that grows on wild cacti. When it turns into Cacturn, its crown flower thing grows into a shady hat of sorts.
Which looks a little bit like a scarecrow.
And that's indeed what it's meant to look like. I'm not sure why we need a scarecrow for the desert, but maybe those pesky Murkrow love to prey on my garden of sand. The Cacnea family mainly has the ability Sand Veil, which raises their evasiveness in a sandstorm and prevents the sandstorms from hurting them, which I always thought was a clever way to have them emulate real-life cacti in the desert. I like Cacnea a bit better than its evolution, possibly because it has 2 little nubs for legs and it looks like a cactus you could just keep as a houseplant. Or maybe it was because it was a main Pokemon in the Hoenn seasons of the anime. It had all the makings for a mascot Pokemon, being funny and cute with its hijinks and high-pitched squeals of Cactia! It had the reoccurring bit of whenever James would send it out, Cacnea would lovingly hug him, much to James's torment, and that's the general comedy you get from it, but it's a lot more powerful than it looks, thanks to its signature move.
Pin Missile!
No, Pin Missile has been around since the first games.
That's the first one I can think of.
It's Needle Arm, which I always found fun since it's such an upfront attack with what it does. Hey, I'm going to touch you with my spike hands, or limbs. That being said, it still uses Pin Missile a lot.
Togemon can use Pin Missile too.
Don't spoil later entries on this. Wait, we just discussed her. Never mind, carry on.
Look, Cacnea is eating vanilla wafers. I like to eat those on long car rides.
Yeah, that's the adorable way James met Cacnea, though I don't understand how an organic plant creature can eat processed sugar, but I guess that's the advantage of fantasy. Number 2, Cactuar from the Final Fantasy series. He's one of those common video game enemies whose image alone is iconic, like the Koopa Shell or Waddle Dee, which partially influenced his spot on this list. There are a few creatures that could transcend the generations of Final Fantasy like this cactus has done. I find his design pretty lovable, which is likely the public consensus considering he's a mascot of the series. You could just put that design on any plushie or figurine and you'll be rolling in hundreds, maybe thousands. Don't want to overestimate that. As for his powers, not too much complexity to them. His biggest asset is his speed, which makes sense since he's always in a running man position, or maybe he's just trying out to be the guy on the Dunkin' Donuts logo. And to utilize his cactus body, he sprays 1,000 needles at whoever approaches him, which would be slightly more terrifying if he wasn't so goofy looking. Oh god, she's dead! But I feel the real appeal of Cactuar is the variety of flavors he comes in. You have original with flower, Cacturoni, the conductor, Cactuar with cape, chibi Cactuar, horrifying man-beast Cactuar, and my favorite, the really big one.
Why'd I save a mustache?
Because only the most awesome characters in Final Fantasy grow facial hair. That's right, this topic is so dense that we need an honorable mention segment. Maractus from Pokemon. When creating another cactus-based Pokemon, they could not just go for another basic desert cactus, so they took the prickly pear cactus. I like how 2 of its abilities absorb water to emulate how real-life cacti can hold a lot of water. I also love its design, it's very festive. I want to pet it on the head, but I don't think that's advisable. Carmen from the Amazing World of Gumball. The fact that a prickly cactus cactus is in love with a fragile balloon is brilliant opposites attract comedy. Blue's dancing cactus from Foster's Home for Imaginary Friends. When I pitched this idea on the poll, a viewer suggested it, and I like the way he or she thinks because that's the kind of choice I would pick, but I don't have anything else to say about it. And the cactus from Descendants of Darkness, which I could not find any pictures of on the internet.
It's not in the anime, it's just in the manga, and I think it's only in one volume.
Anyway, what minor thing does the cactus do for the main character?
It's his little Shinigami familiar, and it can't really do anything, and it's just awful. And it just bounces around from place to place in the pot. It's a really, really sad show. I don't recommend it. I mean, I do recommend it, but it's really sad.
For number 1, we decided to go with the most cactusy cactus on this side of Cactus City, as in it's a character that's just a basic cactus in a pot, but it's also one of the most powerful beings in the universe. Who could I be talking about? Why, it's none other than number 1, Great One from Outlaw Star. How many ways can I cite how hilariously deadpan the humor of this cactus is? Well, just a few, but I like them. When the crew is looking for new jobs to do for money, everyone goes off on their own for different activities in the Cactus's episode, but they all converge in the city thanks to a certain plant. Gene hears of an ice cream cart getting all of the citizens' attention despite having bland ice cream, but he blows that investigation off to go on a date. Meanwhile, Jim and company have to search for a missing cactus from an alien's cargo, and Aisha has to track down a giant bug that was also in the cargo. All these plots converge by the ice cream stand, which is overrun with customers. No one is really suspicious that one of the servers is a literal cactus, though. He doesn't move, he just sits up front. However, the devious plan is that this cactus is mind-controlling all of these people to purchase his ice cream and gather up a crowd so he can observe them. With this knowledge he gains from observation, he can eventually rule the universe. However, he can fend off against those aware of his powers by letting off an ear-piercing screech or just taking control of their mind to avoid getting killed. And if all else fails, that giant insect Aisha was chasing is actually the cactus's servant and can help him escape. His main disadvantage is he's a cactus, as in he cannot walk away or move at all. Though he covers that by mind-controlling someone to help him relocate, using that person as a puppet to speak for him too. Jim has no control over his body once Great One targets him. Then we learn the other limitation to his power. Everyone he hypnotizes has an organic human-like brain, so if some form of sentient technology is aware of what's going on, it can see right through the cactus's charade. Basically, the android beats the cactus since he cannot get into her head, so the day is saved thanks to Melfi.
Melina, one of the least interesting characters who I want so badly to be interesting.
You got her name wrong.
Melina. Melinda? Melina. Melinda. Melina. Maleficent. Melina.
It's Melfina.
Melfina!
There you go.
Aww, she's more interesting. I would have remembered her name. Hey, she's taller than me. Only by a little.
Melfina just smashes the pot and crushes the plant, revealing his final weakness of having the strength of a standard cactus. Despite the loss, I cannot think of any cactus with greater ambitions and power as Great One, making him the best cactus character in all of fiction. Now, what did you think of these choices? Which cacti did you love, and which cacti deserved their prickly spotlight that I did not discuss? Was this actually a useless topic that we never needed? Well, that doesn't matter since this is my channel and I can say it has value. Regardless, let me know in the comments. Anyway, thank you all for watching, and we will see you in the next video.
Bye, everyone! I like that you said, was this a useless topic? Doesn't matter, because this is my channel.
Should I remove that part?
No, it's funny.
Oh, cool. Bye, everyone.